Welcome to #Tour to Tour. My name is Leanne Johnson-Arneson and I am joined, as always, by Spencer Fearon and this week, Anthony Fowler. Anthony, thank you for coming in.
No problem.
Your next fight is September 30th in Liverpool.
Yeah.
First time fighting there as a pro. Are you excited?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's time to go home and show me friends and family how I've improved over the years as a fighter, and it should be a big occasion.
Okay, so we'll get started. We've got lots of tweets to get through. Calvin has tweeted in, who do you think is the best boxer in your weight division right now, and when do you think you're ready to step up?
I've had a long time to go and I would need to develop as a 12-round fighter at the minute, but I'd say Lara, who's a Cuban fighter, very slick.
He was Landy, Lara.
Yeah, that's the one.
WBC champion at the moment.
He's very tricky and he gave Canelo a great fight. It was very close. And you got the Charlo brothers, I think one's moved up.
Yep.
But the other one's still a force, but I'd say Lara be my biggest threat.
Spencer, do you agree?
Adrien Lara is superb. A really, really good tactician. A lot of people actually thought that he beat Canelo, but didn't get the nod because he does remind me a lot of like Harold Graham, who was from your old camp where your trainer Dave Coolwell was working out. He's from the Brendan Ingle camp. He does remind me of him a little bit, but yeah, I would say that Lara most probably is the best light middleweight or super welterweight in the world. So yeah, so you're aiming high, my friend. You're aiming high.
Man, it's at the top. All the only way to aim.
This next tweet is from the fight at the weekend. Benji's tweeted in, Garcia was impressive, would like to see him in with Crawford. Broner was poor, hype job is totally over now. Would you agree,
How can we
Spencer?
say that the hype job is over? Here is Adrien Broner, a man who has been a 4-weight world champion. So there wasn't no hype about it because he must have been doing something right.
He proved it.
Right, he must have been something right. But like I've been saying on many a time, his extracurricular activities outside of the ring have actually caught up with him. And he's a person that doesn't just, there's an old saying, you can't burn the candle at both ends, and he burns it anywhere he can see wax. So unfortunately, it hasn't worked for him. But I was very impressed with Mikey Garcia. Fantastic fighter and a fantastic performance. He has a really, really good style, and it would take a proper stylist like somebody like a Terence Crawford, who is a 2-weight world champion, who I reckon I would tip Terence Crawford to beat him, but it wouldn't be easy. But I reckon Garcia is still a lightweight, and there are fantastic fights for him down at lightweight. I think he should campaign at lightweight and just rule the roost and become if he continues fighting like how he did on the weekend, the guy will become an all-time great.
You were nodding along there. Do you agree with Spencer?
Yeah, he's spot on. I couldn't agree more. I do think Crawford would just pip him, but at lightweight he's a force. Like, I'd love to see him box Lomachenko. At lightweight, that'd be an unbelievable fight.
Amir King Khan at Amir Humza Khan. How nervous were you before your first pro fight?
No, I wasn't really nervous, I don't really get very nervous. I've got a lot of confidence in myself. I think people who are nervous should be because they've skipped sessions in the gym and so forth. I believe in myself and I train very hard, so I wasn't nervous, but my performance...
It was on the Brooks Spence undercard, wasn't it? So big
my performance, I looked a little bit tense, so maybe I'm subconsciously I was a little bit nervous, but I felt calm as it was, and the changes, we having a laugh, warmed up nice and cool, and went out and done the job.
Did that give you a taste of what you could have in the future?
Yeah, I just couldn't believe the reception of the crowd. I was expecting to just walk out, get a few... I'm used to just like the amateurs, just a few little claps here and there, and that's what you get. Or like the odd GB boy shouting, come on, Fowler. But that was like 20,000 people just screaming, come on, and it was unbelievable.
It was a massive place to have you.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, that's what I'm saying. I walked out calm, and then when that hit me, I was like, whoa. And because it was outside, I was going for a street fight. It might sound crazy, but I was fighting in fresh air, and like I've never done it before. And like the punches just felt a bit like I was in the street fighting. So I did go a bit reckless, and Dave told me off. Did you normally get nervous before fights? It's the day you fight, you're a bit edgy and stuff, but I try and keep my mind off it. I try and just keep everything normal, just be with my friends. But I don't mean talk about boxing because I don't want to like waste no energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like nervous energy thinking about the fight. I just keep the day normal, and then sometimes before the venue you're a little bit like you get butterflies in your stomach. But once I get the changes, I've got my routine and I just sewn in, and then I'm fine completely. Matthew
Sowell has tweeted in, if your career could follow the same path as any other boxer, who would it be?
I'd say Andy Joshua, hands down. I think Josh has been brought along at a great rate. He's just done gradual step-ups, boxed all the right fights at the right time. Like, got Klitschko at the perfect time. Klitschko comes towards the end. Joshua's the new breed. I think he's been brought along great, and like he's a superstar, isn't he?
Spencer, how good do you think Anthony could be?
Anthony Joshua at this present moment is doing fantastic, right? And Do you know what? I'm not even reading into he got Klitschko late because, as we know, everything's about timing, and I think it was the right time for him. And the mere fact that he got knocked down and got up and continued to fight in the manner that he did, the sky's the limit for the kid. I mean, you walk into Sky, he's everywhere. You saw the big poster of Anthony Joshua. Everywhere you go, people are so interested about boxing right now, and it's a lot to do with who the heavyweight champion is. Anthony Joshua is the right person to lead that flag for boxing globally. I think he's a brand ambassador for the sport, how he carries himself. I think the sky's the limit for him.
Lee Costello has asked, did you consider going pro before the Olympics? Some see the money in pro boxing as a bigger draw than a potential Olympic medal.
Well, years ago when I first won the ABAs, I was 19 and I was literally living off £30 a week. I was in college, I had no money, and I was boxing. I was training 2-3 times a day.
Are you doing that now? Are you still living off £30 a week?
No, I'm all right now. I'm doing okay now, but
I heard Matchroom paid big money, you know, that's all I hear.
Not big enough yet, but it's getting there. But yes, back then I was struggling, and obviously, at the end of the day, you got to live. You need to pay your bills, kind of thing. So I was going to turn pro back then, and then I got a phone call from Rob McCracken saying, "Come on Team GB." And from that moment on, I wanted to go to the Olympics, and I wanted to make London, and I just missed out. But I was frustrated, and I thought, no, I want to achieve my goal to go to the Olympics. So when I won the Commonwealth Games, another lot of interest in turning pro, but I thought, no, 2 years, I gain more experience, and when I do turn pro, I'll be an Olympian, and I'll be very experienced as a man, rather than like a young boy learning his craft. Now I am a man, and I'm very experienced, so I think I'll move up a lot faster than the average boxer will.
Thomas Lyons, who are you tipping to win the rematch between Liam Beefy Smith and Liam Williams? Can you see yourself fighting either one down the line? Yeah,
definitely. I think Liam Smith will win again. The first fight was, I think Liam might have underestimated Williams, and he was getting outboxed most of the fight, but he did finish strong. I believe he would have won as well. And obviously, me and Liam are both scouters, so 100% be a massive fight one day for Liverpool.
Spencer, how do you think Anthony will get on with Liam Smith?
He's a pup at embryonic stages right now. You're dealing with a man who's been a British champion, who's current British champion now, or who's been a British champion, been a world champion as well, and fought one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. So that right now, no, but I'm saying potential. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's mind sight and eyesight, right? So eyesight, what you can see ahead of you, no. Yeah. But mind sight, when you're down the road, all you got to do is keep on. Listen, let me tell you this, right? Dave Caldwell doesn't get enough props as it is, right? And I'm surprised that you ended up going with Dave Caldwell. I'm just being real, right? He doesn't get enough props. He's a very, very studious person. He's a guy who he leaves no stone unturned. He's a very meticulous trainer. So you got a good trainer. So all you got to do is listen. That is it. There's a reason why you got 2 ears and a mouth, 1 mouth for a reason, because this is meant to be doing more than this at this present moment. When it turns around and you retire like me, this does more than this, right? But I'm saying to you, just keep on listening and keep on grinding with your trainer and building that camaraderie. And the great fighters are the guys go through their careers and they usually stay with the same trainer. Stay with your trainer, learn as much as you can, and then guys like Beefy Smith and the rest of those guys won't be nothing to this guy.
Bang Average Films has tweeted in, who is your favourite Liverpool fighter of all time?
You know what? That's a tough one. Like, people say John Conte because he was like one of the first champions. He was world light heavyweight champion, but I'm just a big massive fan of Bellew. Not because I'm in the same camp as him, but just his heart and his self-belief, and to go from light heavy to cruiser to heavyweight. I just think it's unbelievable that he's done it. So I have personally tweeted that Bellew was the best fighter from Liverpool's history. So I stand by that. Yeah,
he's come a long way, hasn't he? Spencer, what do you think?
Former WBC featherweight champion Paul Hodgkinson was a fantastic fighter in his day, was no mucking around, he was just on you constantly. I would have to say John Conte to me, because of what he did at an era which is a golden era in the 70s, and then he fought in the light heavyweight division in the 70s when that bar from the 50s was the best era for light heavyweights. But personally, then I've got to say Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew is the man. Tony Bellew is WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get with Tony Bellew, and the man's belief. The guy's been in a Rocky movie. The guy, you understand? The guy went and knocked out Makabu with a left hook, made me look good, because I say he's going to knock him out with a left hook, knocked him out. Then he goes and fights David Haye and beats David Haye against unsurmountable odds, we got to say Tony Bellew. If this Tony Bellew should be knighted, I'm telling you this now.
Yeah, you can't question his heart at all, can you? Yeah. This last tweet, Steve Parsons about Frampton. What do you make of the Carl Frampton situation? Would you say he was unprofessional? Did he lack motivation?
He's a pound out, right? So that can happen. Number one, that can happen. It was a pound out. Am I going to turn around and, like, sometimes you can gauge things wrongly and thinking that you could be having your own skills, your own personal skills that have been calibrated as well, and then when you leave and you go to the venue, then you're a pound out, you think, okay, am I going to take it off? But slightly unprofessional, right? But I don't know what's going on. But what I'm saying is, like, there is nothing that Carl Frampton has done inside the ring that I could ever vaguely turn around and say he's been unprofessional. The guy's been a consummate professional on that side, but then his opponent Guterres fell out. Would he fall at the bathtub or shower and cut himself? And crazy. So yeah, I really do feel bad for him not fighting on the weekend. But I'm not going to turn around and say he lack of motivation, because he could have won that fight and then ended up fighting Gary Russell Jr. for the WBC title, because that was an eliminator. So I think a little bit harsh to say that it was unprofessional, and a little bit harsh to say that he's lacking motivation, because I know Carl Frampton personally, the guy doesn't lack motivation at all.
What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, obviously any fighter misses the weight, it's unprofessional, but you never know what happened. His scales could have been wrong, he could have been misjudged things. Stuff can happen, do you know what I mean? But 1 pound isn't the end of the world, but he should know better than that. He should have been on the weight, 100%.
Okay, that's all for this week. Join us next week for more #Toe to Toe.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.